I'm going to give you a two-step method for you to connect with that hard, troubled student at school. And I'm going to give it to you right now. I'm going to tell you a story afterwards, but I'm going to give it to you right now. Being very intentional and being very empathetic. 2 steps, man. 2-step recipe. There's so many recipes out there. But this is my recipe. I'm telling you right now, these are 2 things that have helped me dramatically with reaching, connecting, building relationships with my students and kids that I work with now as a speaker and facilitator, but also being able to get them to listen to me. Let me give you a quick story on what happened. I was working at a school, and this is just about 2 weeks ago. I was working at a school because I'm a speaker and facilitator, so I do a lot of programming with this. And so I'm coming in, and as I'm talking to one of the classrooms, I hear in the loudspeaker, "Mr. St. Louis, we need you in the principal's office." And I was just like, first of all, I had some PTSD because, I used to get called to the principal's office a few times back in middle school and high school. So, when I heard that, I was like, ooh. But then I was like, wait, I'm the speaker, I'm the facilitator. There's nothing, I can't get in trouble. But it was what it was. And I was like, all right, cool. I finished what I did in the classroom, and I went to the principal's office. And I remember the office administrator came to me and said, there's a student here, and we just have a hard time connecting with him. And then the other principals and vice principal told me, he's a great kid, he's an amazing kid, just sometimes it's hard to connect. And so I came in, there was a situation that happened, but we weren't getting the full story. It took me 20 minutes to get this full story. 20 minutes. But understand why it took 20 minutes. I was being very intentional, and I was being very empathetic. So check this out. I come in and I said, "Hey, what's going on? Oh, I remember you were in the front seat when I was doing my presentation, to the whole school." And he was like, "Yeah." I was like, "You remember me?" He's like, "Yeah, Mr. St. Louis." I said, "Cool, man, nice to meet you." I said, "What are you in the principal's office for?" And he said, "I don't want to talk about it." I said, "All right, cool." And then we started talking, just, "How's your day?" And I saw him working with this card thing. It was actually quite intricate. It wasn't just Legos, but it was a lot more difficult, and you have to really build stages. And I'm just like, "Man, can you teach me how to do this?" And he starts telling me what to do and how to make it happen and putting it in a certain way. And I'm just like, "Man, this is fascinating. You must be great with your hands." And he's like, "Yeah, I like to do X, Y, and Z." And then he starts telling me, next thing you know, he likes to cook. And I'm like, "Dude, I like to cook." And he starts telling me about how, they did this pork belly at his house. And he starts asking me, "Do you know what pierogies are?" I'm like, "Man, I've had a lot of pierogies." And he's like, "You've never had my dad's pierogies." And I'm just like, we're just vibing. I'm literally getting to know him. And we start working through, we start connecting. I'm telling him about Haiti. And he, shout out, because when I told him I'm from Haiti, his response was, "Wow, you're from Haiti? I've heard so many great things about that country. It's such a beautiful island." You don't understand. I have never, ever had a conversation with someone, especially that young, who's taught me or told me about Haiti and their experience or something that they've learned about Haiti. And the first thing that came out their mouth was, "It was a beautiful island." It's always, "Oh, great people, it was very poor," or "Man, there's so much happening in that country." I've never had somebody actually just say, "Wow, it's just a beautiful island." And so that was very personal for me, and I told him that. And we're talking and we're connecting. And 20 minutes later, I asked him the same question. "Hey man, what are you doing here? What are you doing in the principal's office?" And he tells me everything that happened outside, what the issues are, some of the things that he thinks about some of his teachers, how he sees things. He doesn't feel like people are necessarily listening. He gives me the whole shebang. But it started with intentionality and caring about him as a person, not just trying to get the answer. And I think some of us, we always look to get the answer faster than just getting to know the person. And we want to get things through fast as possible. And we forget Dr. Bruce Perry's famous 3-step method, right? You got to regulate the situation. But for most of us, we go from straight to regulation into reasoning. And I think we miss this step, not intentionally, but we don't see it as valuable as the regulation and the reasoning. And yet it is the piece that ties everything together. Relating to that child, relating to anyone. And that's the empathy piece. That's the piece that connects us as humans. Being intentional for me allowed me to connect with him, show him who I am, learn from him, and also just see him as a person. And now he knew this wasn't just about me getting information from him, but it's from me who cares for him. And now he's willing to spill all the beans. So, long story short, guys, look to be intentional with how you're relating to someone, how you connecting with someone. Be empathetic. Build that understanding. Build that connection piece. Learn to see them as someone that you can hear, someone that you actually care for. Don't just see it as the job. That's my piece of advice. But I really think if you continue to work in this manner of being very intentional and empathetic, this is just a two-piece recipe. Two-piece recipe. It's all you need. And if you ever want me to come out to your school and speak to your students and connect with them and we do this whole radical empathy, transforming school culture, this is what I'm about. This is I am here to serve your school population. And so if you want me to come out to your schools, please reach out to me. You can reach out through my website, or you can just email me personally and let's get something figured out. Guys, 2 steps, man. 2-step recipe. There's so many recipes out there. But this is my recipe. Being intentional with the kid, actually caring about the person, and showing empathy, relating to that kid in some way, shape, or form. See you later.